sins too. He's angry about economic injustice. God accuses leaders of abusing their power, and he condemns them for exploiting the poor. Look at the start of chapter 2 that Penny read to us. Woe to those who plan iniquity, to those who plot evil on their beds. At morning's light, they carry it out, because it is in their power to do so. Because they can get away with it, they do. Having put idols in the place of their relationship with God, their business ethics go down the tubes too. God is angry about greed. Verse 2, they covet fields and seize them. That means that farmers can no longer farm and people will go hungry. They covet houses and take them. That means people become homeless. They defraud people of their homes and rob them of their inheritance. No pension. It's clear from this he's angry because the shepherds are fleecing the sheep. He still is. He's angry because they're getting away with it. I wonder whether things are really so different in our society. We've learnt in recent years that if you preside over a bank or a huge international corporation and people are losing their jobs and their investments, you get paid a lot of money to leave. Don't get me started on disappointing prime ministers and their pension. An abusive church leader can be allowed to reinvent them, being exposed. I think to think that this judgment is despite the economic woes facing our country today, and we also know that many of our consumer goods today are produced in verse 3 to verse 5, promise disaster to those who exploit others for greed. But the local prophets tell Micah to shut up. Don't talk to us about judgment. Disgrace will not happen to us. It wouldn't happen in our church. Oh, Micah, they say, don't make such a fuss. Notice that men, women, and children are all victims. If a liar and a deceiver comes to you and says, I'll prophesy for you, plenty of wine and beer, I want God to say, have another drink. But actually, he's angry about idolatry and greed. Have things changed all that much? Well, you'll be pleased to know I've never heard a preacher say, have plenty. But there's a challenge in here for us too. To be honest, I find it much easier to talk about God's love, and unless I grasp the gravity of God's judgment, I'll never appreciate we're more sinful than we ever realize that judgment will come to who only hear what they want to hear. So this brings me, is there any hope, or are we all doomed? Like Fraser from Dad's Army. Those of you of a certain age will know who